everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 607. We are that podcast that talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
And I am Mako-chan.
And unfortunately, excuse me, something got a little caught back there. Let me adjust this. Ari is out because I think he said he's working the overnight shifts, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And Barry is out today. She's just feeling a little tired. They're just feeling a little tired. So they will hopefully next week we'll have the whole cast together. So anywho, how are you doing tonight, Mako?
I'm tired.
Drink water. It's good for you.
I am drinking water.
So you should be less
Any less tired.
I mean, drinking water should make you less tired, more hydrated.
Tiredness and hydration has nothing to do with not being able to sleep.
I suppose so. All right, so before we get into the whole spiel, let us tell you about what happened last week. Now, we were supposed to do a show last week, and Mako wasn't feeling up for it. So I was like, all right, fine. All right, so that's cool. It'll just be me and Ari. Now, as some of y'all know, I do IT for a living. I won't divulge any more than that, but that's all you need to know. So, we had a VIP from the office in LA in our office this week. And, well, I wouldn't say I was voluntold to take care of this, but the ticket for what needed to be done with this VIP ended up in my queue, so I had to do it anyway. So, and we have like specialized apps that we use for contact management, and he was having issues with it. We have an older version and a newer version, but you could run concurrently. The issue was, as soon as he was in the hotel office, he was either on a conference call or talking to someone. Basically, I more or less had to stalk his hoteling office to get a hold of him. And I was there until 7 o'clock. 7:15. And I had to push that off till the next day. So you have to understand, Tuesday nights when we stream, and even when we were just doing strictly podcasting, I was on a system. I immediately left work ASAP. And when we were on the 9:30 slot, that gave me about an hour and a half to get dinner, come home, eat dinner, catch up with a TV show or anime, and then after that, I'd have like a 30-minute buffer to jump online, bring everybody into the chat, set up OBS or whatever, make sure everything's set the way it should be. Now, if I don't have that hour buffer, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to rush it. So basically, because of how late I was there, I said no show. And we all agreed, let's do a show Wednesday night, which I thought would be a great idea. Normally, what we used to do is, if we couldn't do a show Tuesday, we do a show Wednesday. But lately, we'll say we'll skip it till next week, so that's fine. So, there was another event going on at work, and because there was an issue with the sound system, and we had to break out a PA system, I was waiting for the rep for this event to show up and tell us how things needed to be done, which is why I was there late. Now, we decided that we would do a show from 8 to 9:30 because everybody's home. It'd be Wednesday. It'd be perfect. I didn't get out till about 6:30, and I said, no, this is not going to happen. So that is why we did not have a show last week. And please understand, we do the show because we love what we do and we enjoy what we do. So any money that we make on this podcast goes directly into paying for the server bills, Did I mention the server bills?
Maybe once.
Yeah, because the amount that comes in, pays for the server, basically the server bills and anything related to the website, like the domain, the email addresses, and all of that. So as long as that's covered, I'm okay with that. And all of y'all who cheer us on with the bits and sub to the channel, that's where your money's going to, and I really appreciate that. And in the event there's any leftover money, it pretty much goes into the hardware that we all run to kind of keep the show going for the most part. So we really appreciate that. So, anywho, let's go ahead and kind of move things on. And in my private, one of my group chats, somebody started up an audio group chat of audio group chat, video group chat. I'm like, y'all need to stop. Anywho, let's get the show on the road here. We are live tonight, week of October 10th, 2023, right here on Twitch TV. Man, where does the time go? We're here.
It needs to stop.
Say what?
I said, I don't know, but it needs to stop.
Yeah, especially the fact that by 7 o'clock is already getting dark. That needs to stop.
Yeah, that ain't gonna stop in a while.
Oh, I know. But the weather, I'm just glad I went out and got myself a denim jacket. Gonna have to wear one of my. I might have to wear my swacket tomorrow just to see how things go. So anyhow, we're here live Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. You'll always find us at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session. We're also part of the Voice of Geeks Network at vognetwork.com. You can always follow them at Twitch TV/vognetwork. Like I said, we're proud to be part of the Voice of Geeks Network. And don't forget to come hang out in our Discord at vognetwork.com/Discord. Every show that's part of the Voice of Geeks Network has a channel, so come through and come hang out. And speaking of the dates and times, Chaos Yume says almost Halloween.
Yeah, I may have ordered a new Halloween costume.
So no Lydia this year, huh?
Well, I was going to do Lydia's red wedding dress for work because I would just be sitting and it wouldn't be a problem.
Right.
But my mother's village is doing another trunk or treat, and they're doing it on Halloween again. So I promised that I would, go and help her out with it.
Right.
So I don't want to be like, one, I already did Lydia's red wedding dress for that.
Yeah.
And two, it was really a pain in the butt because it was just constantly moving around and the lace on it is kind of scratchy.
Right.
So then I was going to do Lydia's regular black dress.
Right.
But then I'm like, you know what? I want to be comfortable because, I'm going to go from work and then go straight to my mother's.
Right.
So I got a new costume.
Of course. And I realized Halloween is on a Tuesday.
Yeah, are we doing a show?
Maybe not. We'll see how things go.
Okay.
I haven't even fully thought about Halloween at work. I mean, we had a VIP in the office last year, so I couldn't really do anything. The most I did last year was just wear my Luigi hat, and that was it. And the year before that, basically, as long as the outfit's not offensive, you can wear whatever. So I did Luigi. So thinking this year, I might bring Luigi back, or I might do Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. I haven't decided. I've actually thought about dressing up as a member of the Geek Squad and putting in the window of my exterior office the Geek Squad logo or something like that.
Oh, jeez.
Well, what was interesting was my manager told me that they all did Geek Squad one year when they had they had sort of a meeting and everybody showed up, and he shows me pictures. They're wearing regular clothes and Geek Squad t-shirts. And I'm like, no. If we're going to do Geek Squad, we got to go all out. I'm talking black slacks, black shoes, white shirt, the tie, the badge that says Geek Squad. that I might have to. I might have to. Oh man. Now we got that out the way. Let's get into our weekend day. So Mako-chan, how was your week? How was your day?
Um, Week and day, not bad. Uh, had a barbecue on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Since we didn't end up doing Q this year, just because basically everybody was busy.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody instead came to my place. We had a barbecue, we talked, we played games. It was fun. And other than that, not a whole hell of a lot.
Gotcha. So my weekend day was was pretty much the same as well. So we had some friends over and we gamed until midnight. It was good times all around. Let's see. Here's something interesting that happened. Now I'm holding this up right here on the camera here, and some of you probably can't figure out what it is. And for those of you who are listening, I am holding up a USB printer cable. So what happened was I needed to print something out, so I could go to work and call this in, whatever. And I was having trouble printing because for some reason the Wi-Fi wasn't working. So I said, screw it. I can print. I'll just order a USB cable. Sunday night, I'm talking to a friend of mine on the phone, and I'm going to plug in the USB cable. And as I've mentioned before, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. Actually, is it 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. 7 lights I have in my ceiling. Now, they are all programmed with Wi-Fi lights. So I can go into my phone, go to an app, and turn on certain lights if need be. And usually when I'm working on my PC or if I'm taking pictures on my phone, I just turn all the lights on for optimum lighting. So I'm like, I'm going to need some lighting to run these cables. And it was not coming on. And I'm like, it couldn't detect. I'm just like, are you serious right now? So I'm thinking, oh, the kids flip the switch. There are 2 switch boxes here. There's one over there where I come in from work where I come in and out of the house. 2 of those switches manage these lights here. And on the other side of the door is another switch box with 2 switches that also manages the lights here. And I always keep them in the up position so that they'll be working. So that didn't work. So I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And then I look at the router and it's like, it's light, it's lit, it's green. And I log into the router through the app. I see no connections coming in. So I'm like, let me reboot this. And I'm like, if this doesn't work, I will either be doing a late night emergency run to Best Buy and Union Square, or I'll be ordering a replacement router and dealing with this crap on Monday. Thankfully, the router rebooted. And I thankfully the router rebooted and everything is back up to normal. So everything is fine. I just gotta get the staples and return that. And we got a message here in the chat from the chat and OC that folks, I do Shaggy for Halloween. I could. I could print out the door of the mystery machine up against the window of my office. I could walk around with a box of Scooby snacks and a plush Scooby around my neck. I could do that. All right. Let's move this on. Housekeeping notes. Let me refresh that. Don't forget, episodes of Anime Jam Session are available on our YouTube page at youtube.com/Anime Jam Session. Episodes go up Thursdays at 12 p.m. And don't forget, we have a convention coming up. Another anime convention in Westford, Massachusetts. It's going down next weekend, so come through, come hang out, and have a good time. This is one of those conventions where you'll actually have time to go to panels, go grab food, take pictures of amazing cosplays, meet new friends, and not have to worry about missing everything because you'll be able to do it all and then some. All right. So next thing up is Geek Roundtable. This is the part of the show where we talk more about the geekier aspects of our lives, like what anime we've been watching or a brand new figurine. Which reminds me, I have 2 more figurines I have to put on display. All right, Mako-chan, tell us about your plush furry figure plush furry that you have on display here.
Yeah, so I know I have shown him off before. It is my my Void Kitty,
Mm-hmm.
my tentacle kitty Void Kitty. This is the only big tentacle kitty I have. I would like a couple more. But yes, so this was my first tentacle kitty and not my last.
Okay, so let's see. Bonds006 says he's getting back to Mushoku Tensei season 2. It's a great isekai. That's become like my number 2 isekai. Number 1 will generally be ReZero. And New York Comic Con is this week, so all y'all that are going, have fun. I'll be at home chilling, playing video games or something. Chaos Yume says that they have 3 new Nendroids to put out. If you look behind me, I have a Nendroid and a bunch of figurines still in boxes because I don't have room. Oh, they say 4. All right, so for those of you who don't know, unless you've been totally ignorant, my favorite Sailor Senshi is Sailor Venus. And I have people who encourage me to feed this habit of Sailor Venus, and that's buying figurines and stuff like that. I have figurines, gashapons, Lego brick figures, pins, all of that. And now I get very kind of like, do I need this one? Do I need that one? Like now the Q poskets, some of them come in 2 different variants of colors. Now there's the ones for the Eternal figurine, 2 different poses. I pre-ordered them both. So I got a friend on Facebook now that got me this one figurine. I like to call this one the Barbie or Gem doll because it's kind of like that style of figurine. There's a few. I know they did this with the Sailor Senshi and a couple of other characters. And what sucked is that I could not get this through the pre-order through the normal site that I go through because they didn't have them. So a friend of mine went out and pre-ordered this, and it is Style Doll Super Sailor Venus. Import all the way from Japan. And what sucks is it showed up in this box like this, kind of bent, and I'm just like, really? I mean, if I order from AmiAmi or Otaku Mode, they at least wrap the figure in plastic or bubble wrap, then brown paper, and then ship it along. I mean, I even get something like that from Amazon. Now, I'm not one of those who loses their shit if it's not pristine. I'll get a little annoyed, but I'll just deal with it. But Bonds006 says you need wallpaper, socks, and blanket. Well, I have the wallpaper. It's not up on my desktop yet. I believe it's on one of my phones here. And I have socks. But but not the blanket. If I drop $30 on like a Sailor Venus blanket, I'm not going to use it. It's going to stay in this container in storage. Now, if I pay $10, $15, that'd be a different story. And Bonzo6 says, get the body pillow. Yeah, I've had the body pillow for over 10 years now. It's an interesting story behind that. Me and Ari were at Zenkai, and this is when it was in Oaks, Pennsylvania for 1 year. We're walking through the dealer's room, and there was like this giant trash can. And what a lot of dealers will do, they'll put like body pillows or wall scrolls, long, tall stuff like that in there so you can kind of go through and see which one you wanted. There was a bunch of Sailor Moon body pillows in there. So I was trying to get him to buy the Mercury one because Mercury is Ari's favorite Senshi, but there was a Venus one. And I'm just staring at it and I'm just like, I don't know if I want it or not. And I see somebody come over to grab it and I slap his hand. I'm told him, step back. And I end up buying it. And that was a year my friend Lexi came with us. There was a picture of her as Sarah Miyu, Super Sailor Venus, holding the body pillow, thus the term Venusception. All right. Now that we got that out the way, we got some stories to tell y'all. We have some stuff from last week that we couldn't get into because we weren't here, but we're here now because some of it is hella important. Let's see. This thing didn't go up all the way. Let me flip this over here. All right. There we go. Ohayocon fires staff for unionizing. Now, for those of you who don't know, 99% of all conventions are volunteers. People do it for free. You, in a way, you do get paid. You're paid in the ways of food vouchers, free time, and crash space. And that's basically what it is. Some conventions, the first couple of years, you have to pay for your room because the con doesn't have the money. But once they have the money, they handle it. So evidently, the staffers wanted to unionize, and upper management was like, "No, we're not having that. You're all fired." And I'm like, "Can a volunteer staff actually unionize?" And I did some reading, and yes, you can. And I thought that was pretty cool. So, anywho, over at the people at Nerd and Tie, they've kind of put everything together in a nice way that kind of, explains it. Yeah, and what do you know? There is an update that came out today. Wow, there is a lot. So, this is what we have. In a shocking turn of events, Melissa Phelps, the president and the board of the Directors of Cultural Exchange Society Incorporated, has initiated a hostile takeover by firing and removing access from a majority of the senior leadership team. This sudden and unexpected move has sent shockwaves throughout the community of Ohayocon volunteers. The senior leadership team has been an integral part of the con's success, providing guidance, experience, and dedication to the event's growth and improvement over the years. The contributions have helped Ohayocon become one of the most beloved and well-attended conventions in the region. The abrupt removal of the team has raised concerns among the Ohayocon volunteer community about the future direction of the convention and the well-being of the volunteers who pour their hearts into making the event a success year after year. Many volunteers and attendees have voiced their support for the ousted leaders and calling for transparency and accountability in the wake of this takeover. We stand with the volunteers of Ohayocon and urge everyone to support and dedicate individuals who have worked tirelessly to make this convention a cherished experience for all attendees. We believe the values of the community, collaboration, and inclusivity that have defined Ohayocon for years, and we call on Melissa Phelps to address the concerns and questions of the community openly and honestly. Now, originally, the story was they hired somebody else to redo their logo. And that was the reason why the senior management team was quote unquote fired. But that wasn't the case. And some people have taken a look at the logo and have screamed that it is a violation of the Geneva Convention. I don't think most of y'all who are saying it's a violation of the Geneva Convention actually understand what the Geneva Convention is. I will say on this aspect, the Ohayocon logo is a blue cross. And I think originally it was a red one or something like that, and there was issues because you can't have something similar to the Red Cross. Now it's similar to Blue Cross and Blue Shield, a well-known health insurance provider. So basically, the volunteers of this convention created an informal union called COVEN, Conventions of Ohio Volunteer Event Network. And they presented a document for Phelps and other members of the board on March 4th. You can see the link to that online at ohayocon.tiny.site. There are 2 I's in tiny. There was a meeting in Discord regarding it where you can listen to the audio and so forth. So it's just been a little chaotic. And by a little, I mean a lot. They had to shut down the website and put up these large explanation as to what's going on. There were people that were on staff that had no idea they were being fired because they made these posts on social media. And it's not the first time we've seen that. Businesses like gaming companies and so forth make these announcements about these layoffs and stuff. And the employees are like, I just found out on Twitter I got fired. Kind of crazy. So, as it seems right now, as of like a few days ago, Ohayocon put up a statement regarding the current situation, which is very confusing. Part of the statement says, contrary to misinformation swirling online, no volunteers or members of the senior leadership team have been fired from Ohayocon, which contradicts what was said a few days ago. And the fact that a volunteer sent the Ohayocon logo to the Red Cross, pointing out the violation of the said Geneva Convention, supposedly that was not true. But it seems that they did get a C&D from the Red Cross threatening legal action prior to this. I thought conventions in our neck of the woods had problems. And this volunteer staff unit, Coven, basically posted their notice of strike a few days ago. So, as it seems now, social media for Ohayocon has been more or less been restored. A member of the board that backs Ohayocon, Justin Nordell, stated that they will be putting up an application for refunds for people who are interested. We don't know if they will reject some of the refund requests or what. It is what it is. Nordell frames things in a way that are like slightly puzzling. Like being a non-profit will let them properly compensate folks who have been volunteer workers, which is strange since the convention was likely violating U.S. labor law when it was using volunteer workers in its for-profit years. Well, when it comes to that, you have to flip from your status to do that. And again, a lot of conventions have volunteer staffers that make things go round. And it was clarified that Melissa Phelps' role as the executive director has since stepped down from the board, is not a convention chair or a director, but in a position of managing the CESI's year-round activities. This position still has authority over Ohayocon's management. Nordell revealed that a current board of the CESI is currently himself, Emily DeJesus, who has been made board president, and Katie Phelps. A 4th member is currently being considered as well. It's a giant cluster. Fuck. And as Nemesis47 has told us in our chat here at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session, the problem stemmed from Melissa Phelps, who was a con chair that missed a vote about the Sakura Blossom logo that was voted on. Phelps didn't like it, and she fired those involved, given she hung out with some director from Youmacon. The logo they had, the Geneva Convention, the Red Cross was going to sue apparently over. Thanks to this, Phelps wants to pay the ambassador in the con to not rehire the staff that was fired, and the con goers are boycotting the event. And what was just said is not actually 100% correct. So there's so much shit going on with Ohayocon. But the staffers are saying on Twitter, I refuse to call it X. They want you to go to the con, support the convention. Hashtag I stand with Ohayocon volunteers. There is an image graphic going around telling people part of it is like, go to the con to support the convention. It's like during the writer's strike. Instead of pirating your shows, continue to watch the shows that the writers are striking on. Show your support for them. Same thing with SAG-AFTRA. Yes, there are no new programs of your favorite shows, but they still want you to watch the existings and the repeats and so forth to show your support, as opposed to, sailing the seven seas. Please don't do that. It would be a miracle if Ohayocon actually has a convention this year, because the convention is in 2.5 months. Shall we take bets on this? No? Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, I am curious as to what, even reading all that, I couldn't fully understand what was the breaking point to form a formal volunteer union. Because this is the first I'm hearing this from a convention. I ain't knocking it, but it's the first time I've heard of it, something like this. So, anywho, Mako, tell us about the anime director that's on the comeback trail.
Yeah, so no surprise there. When we talk about an anime director that is, coming back from retirement, we are always talking about Miyazaki.
Guess who's back? Back again. Tell your friends.
Yeah, so he announced that The Boy and the Heron would be the final film, but now, according to Studio Ghibli's president, Toshio Suzuki, Miyazaki is not only back in action, but also more dynamic than ever, stating that the director is reportedly obsessed with his next project.
Oh boy.
He's thinking about the next project every day, and I can't stop him. In fact, I've given up. I no longer try to dissuade him, even if he were to make a failed film. In life, it's only the work that delights him. Yeah, so this has been going on for years. Years and years and years. He has, stated that he is retired, and then whether he's bored or he likes to micromanage or whatever you want to, think of him, he ends up coming back and creating a brand new movie, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And then he says, I'm retiring again, that's the best I can do, I'm done, and then says, you know what, screw it, and it's back. So he did state, he is 82 years old. Miyazaki did state that this was supposed to be his creative swan song, The Boy and the Heron, and he basically said no. So he is back in the director's chair for a new movie. Producers have claimed he's forgotten what his previous film was even about.
Wow.
Because he's so focused on this new one. Obviously, he's been keeping everything as secret as possible. The Boy and the Heron, we didn't even know the title of it until it was basically getting ready to be released. There was no, advertisement for it, nothing leaked on it. So he is keeping this one just as secretive. And people are okay with that. And yeah, for those that want to see The Boy and the Heron and couldn't get to Japan to see it, it will be releasing in cinemas worldwide on December 8th. And yeah, so you guys can see the latest one that the director has already forgotten about because he's on to the next.
As the saying goes, can't stop, won't stop.
Wingstop?
Yeah, that too. All right. Next up, we're gonna talk about a favorite of me and Mako's here on the show, Alice and Borderland. Now, before they even announced the season 3, I was more or less convinced 2 seasons they're done. They've covered everything. What more was there? And even back then, there was talk of a season 3. Now, Mako, did you believe they were going to do a 3rd season?
I figured they were.
Okay.
Because while they have covered most of what is in the manga, there is still a little bit that was not covered, and there is a sequel. There's also a spin-off that has nothing to do with any of these characters. That I don't think they'll do, but I think they will because they haven't covered the Joker arc, which, while not large, was still, part of the series, and they haven't covered the sequel. So I think that once they cover that and the sequel, I think that would be done. Okay. Especially since Netflix usually doesn't go over 5 seasons for any of their shows.
Unless it was early on.
Yeah, but it's got to be super, super popular, or they're not even going to go for 5. So I think a 3rd season of this will probably be the end.
Yeah, but didn't Orange is the New Black go 6 seasons or something like that?
Orange is the New Black was based off of an Australian show, I think.
Far as I know, it was based on a true story or something like that.
No, it's well, I don't know about a true story, but it is based off of what is originally an Australian show, and it covered that.
Yeah,
and I only know that because my cousin was obsessed with that, and because of that, started watching the original.
Yeah, Cedar Beery says it was based on a memoir. Okay, so it was. Okay. So, anywho, we're getting another season of Alice in Borderland. Directed by Shinsuke Sato, who worked on Kingdom and the Bleach live action, and starring Kento Yamazaki as Ryo Arisu, Alice in Borderland first premiered in December 2020 and followed by a second season December 2022 after the series reached top 10 streaming in over 70 countries. The basic premise of the show is Arisu and Usagi try to unravel the mysteries of Borderland to return to the real world, in a place where they believe holds the key to uncovering these mysteries. They meet allies, enemies, and the mastermind behind all of the games. Arisu and the others pit themselves against games of scale and difficulty that exceed the first season. The remaining games are only the Jack, Queen, and King cards, but will they be able to collect them all and return to the real world? The hugely popular series that astounded the world returns with even more thrills and excitement. Basically, they have to play these games, and if you win, you get to live. If you lose, you basically die. Which
yes, Wentworth.
That was the name of the original series?
Yes.
Which means we probably won't see season 3 till 2024.
Yeah, I would not expect to see anything soon. Especially since there's so much CJ.
Yeah, so Bonzo6 says, wait, so this is a survival reverse isekai show? No. It's an isekai show where survival is the imperative word. All right. Now, our next story chalked us under things that we never asked for. Because I sure as hell didn't ask for this.
What do you mean things we didn't ask for?
No, Footy Cootie. Sequels to Footy Cootie. I didn't ask for it.
Yeah, well, they don't care about you.
I know they don't care about me.
So yeah, Jason DeMarco, the senior vice president in the anime and action series long form department at Warner Brothers Animation and Cartoon Network Studios, stated on Twitter on Friday that while Adult Swim considers Fully Cooley Grudge and Fully Cooley Shoegaze rating successes and is very happy with their performance, the company won't be making any more. DeMarco thanked fans who helped make the two series a success. The two new seasons of the Fully Cooley anime, DeMarco is the executive producer, and Production IG USA's Maki Terashima Furuta, Fully Cooley Alternative, and Fina Pirate Princess is the producer for both series. Grunge premiered on Adult Swim on September 9th and had 3 episodes. Shoegaze premiered on September 30th. So previous sequels were alternative and progressive. So now they're saying, nope, no more. We're done with Fully Cooley.
The original 6 was cracked out as it was, and that was enough. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't think there needed to be sequels.
No.
Especially when, the sequels, at least some of them are just completely different characters and them saying, hey, this is popular, so let's just create more that has nothing to do with anything.
Ugh. Now, I can understand if season 3 did something where it tied back to the original. Sort of like what they did with Digimon. So next up, we want to know, do you have a subscription to Crunchyroll? You may be due compensation. Chalked it up as just something I wasn't expecting to find out about. Oh, boy. Anywho, Sony Pictures Entertainment and Crunchyroll reached a settlement on September 15th in a class action lawsuit between them and Salvador Beltran Jr., Eli Gross, and others, making Crunchyroll users in the United States eligible for payment of approximately $30. The exact amount is not yet known. Users who are in the U.S. who have registered, streamed, or otherwise used the Crunchyroll website or app are eligible for payment. Eligible users must submit a claim form by December 12, 2023. The class action lawsuit alleges that Crunchyroll violated the United States Video Privacy Protection Act by disclosing subscribers' personally identifiable information to Facebook and other third-party companies. Sony Pictures Entertainment and Crunchyroll denied the claim, but have decided to settle to avoid the uncertainties and expenses associated with continuing the case. Beltran and others filed the class action lawsuit in the District Court of the Northern District of Illinois in September of last year. So I'm going to tell you this shit right now. You sign up for it, you're going to get $3. Those of you who are listening will not see this, but I am holding up a piece of paper here. On this piece of paper is a settlement check from TD Bank, part of a class action that I joined. And it said you could get up to $300 per person. Okay, fine. What have I got to lose? You want to know what the value of this check is?
30 cents.
$2 and a penny. $2 and a damn penny. They could have just asked me for my PayPal, which I've gotten settlements that way, or just ask me for my checking and just deposit the fucking money. The paper has more value than the damn value of the check. I think the highest amount I have ever gotten in a class action was $50 when there was a class action lawsuit against Best Buy for being forced to clock out while you're still in your uniform, because in most states you are still on the clock still. You clock out when you take off your uniform and then you change. Not clock out, go downstairs, change your uniform and leave. The second I got was there was a class action lawsuit for about if you had bought a DVD drive. And I'm just sitting there thinking, oh, how many did I buy? 5. I think I got $30 for that. Just dropped right into my PayPal account. God. I mean, these class action lawsuits are a fucking joke. The Equifax one, come on. That everybody thought they were going to get paid off of that. I don't even know where that is even going. And as Bonzable6 says, the cost of postage. Now, as to this, what happened with Crunchyroll, there are people I've seen on Facebook talking about, oh, this is why I use alternate means. And I'm like, that doesn't help. Because you always have that one idiot that use alternate ways to find stuff and get themselves in a lot more trouble than they need to be. I'll leave it at that. Mako, please take us home.
Yeah. So, going back to other things Ghibli related, there is a My Neighbor Totoro short sequel that will be screening at the Ghibli parks this November. As detailed on their official website, May and the Baby Cat Bus, along with 9 other short works that comprise the Ghibli Museum's exclusive film collection, will be showcased at the theme park through the remainder of 2023. Scheduled for this November, May and the Cat Bus revolves around May's friendship with Konokobus, the child of the larger cat bus spirit that she meets in My Neighbor Totoro. Paying tribute to its predecessor, the short showcases May's exciting first ride with her new companion. As this 14-minute film has never been shown outside of Japan, it has never been subbed or dubbed into any other language. Screenings at the park will feature the original Japanese language track with additional subtitles showing for viewers with impaired hearing.
Cool.
Yeah, so obviously, the park is very famous. Has all of the different, characters around the park, and it's themed around the characters. So in addition to May and the Baby Cat Bus, 2 other highlights among the collection of films coming to the theme park are Levin and the Egg Princess and The Day We Caught Stars. Scheduled for screenings throughout October, the former follows the adventures of Princess Egg, who is taken as a servant by a cruel witch named Baba Yaga. One night, Princess Egg befriends Mr. Doe, an enchanted batch of Levin that's created to do the witch's bidding. Together, the 2 devise a plan to escape their evil captor. The Day We Caught Stars follows a young boy who enters a mysterious shop and purchases a tiny sprout. The plant later grows into a miniature planet before his very eyes. And this movie will be screened at the museum through the month of December. So for those that happen to be going, you'll get to see some really cool little mini shows.
So basically what you're saying, they're trying to escape from John Wick?
No.
Bonus points if you understand the reference. All right. Before we get into the part of the show that y'all really like to stick around for, meanwhile in Japan, Mako.
Yes.
there are still tickets available for Foo Fighters.
Not a whole hell of a lot.
I'm seeing a bunch.
Yeah, and I'm broke.
Okay. I'm just saying I might pull the trigger. We'll see.
If you pull the trigger, I will pay you back.
I know you will.
And I apologize for the sugar gliders barking.
Wait. Say that again. What?
I said I apologize for the sugar gliders barking.
Sugar gliders bark?
That noise that you're hearing is them talking to one another, and that is considered barking.
I learned something new today. I would have assumed squeak. I didn't even know what that. I didn't even know that was. It just sounded like just background noise.
Yeah, it's it's just them making noise trying to communicate with each other, even though they're both right next to each other in a pouch. They just have to try and be louder than another one.
Like typical siblings, huh?
Yeah, but it's just, basically also what they do when they're washing themselves.
Ah. The more you know.
Oh. Yeah, the more you get to understand the weirdness that is quote unquote exotic pets. But then I have Cassie, who is a tortoiseshell and as non-exotic as you can get, and she's just loud as hell. But that's a torty thing too.
Wait, I actually have the sound effect. Hold on. I hope we don't get a DMCA for that one. It shouldn't be that bad. But I'm just saying, the audio did get muted for the pre-show 2 weeks ago, though. I was sort of like, that's kind of on. It was pretty accurate for a DMC. Wow, okay. There's no strikes, but I'm kind of impressed. All right, so let's take a look at the articles that we have here. You think we have time to do all three?
Well, I know you're going to want to do number 2.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the third one is something we should cover because we have been covering it the last couple of episodes.
All right, well, I'll do the third one first, and then
Okay.
you can go with the second one, and then I'll do the first one.
Sounds like a plan. And I won't even. This one gets no background music because of how important this is.
Yeah, so we have been talking about Johnny's talent agency for a little while now, and what is going on with the lawsuit and all of that. So we are now a month after the admission of sexual abuse by the founder. So the public image obviously has tanked and is at an all-time low. Though Kitagawa passed away 4 years ago, it's going to be very difficult for the current management to distance itself from his actions when the company itself is named after him. Over the last month, major company over major company has announced it will be severing its advertising endorsement deals with Johnny Associates. It's perhaps the largest reversal of brand goodwill ever in Japan, and the agency itself has apparently reached the conclusion that it's something it'll never be able to recover from.
Wow.
They have announced that they are changing its name and also that the company will be dismantled. So, speaking at a press conference in Tokyo, Noriyuki Higashiyama, Johnny & Associates president as of last month, said the company will be changing its name to Smile Up, effective October 17th. However, Smile Up will not be engaging in any talent development or promotion. Instead, Smile Up's operations will be limited to making amends for victims of Kitagawa's abuse. Um, Johnny and Associates Smile Up will be entirely withdrawing from talent management and development. They will also be dismantling the company, carrying out compensation to victims until the end, and opening up a new future with a new company. That is our vision. Our current company will only be involved in providing compensation. It's sort of it's sort of buried in the middle of Higashiyama's statement, but the name change doesn't mean that everyone on the Johnny and Associates management and performer teams is getting out of show business. Instead, the plan is to create a new talent agency with a new name. So basically, they are trying to shift as many of Johnny's performers to this new agency, which would then hopefully distance the new agency enough from Johnny's name to earn it sufficient faith from sponsors for endorsement deals and start coming in again. So suggestions for the name of the new talent agency will be solicited from the current Johnny's fan clubs. A timetable for the agency's opening has not been set, but given that the process of compensating victims is likely to be a long and legally complex one, there are 325 people seeking compensation so far. Odds are the new agency will be operating before Smile Up closes. So it is unknown right now which of the executives will transition to the new company, though Higashiyama's choice of words make it sound like he'll be part of the new agency's management, and Yoshihiko Inohara, president of Johnny and Associates subsidiary Johnny's Island, was present at the press conference as well. Notably absent from the event, though, was Julie Keiko Fujishima, Kitagawa's niece, who took over as Johnny and Associates president following her uncle's death. So considering that the company's focus will be strictly on making amends to victims, Smile Up feels unnecessarily cheery, and a dry, more business-like name might have been the wiser choice. Still, a name change of some sort is likely for the best, as any contribution or any contrition for Kitagawa's actions would feel watered down while the company is still named in his honor.
I think that's the best thing to do. Just dismantle the agency and start fresh with those who care. Because there's probably still a couple of people who knew what was going on, who still hasn't said anything, and more than likely they will not be around when the new company begins. I think that was a very good call.
Yeah, the name definitely needed to be changed. But I agree that Smile Up is kind of what they should have called the new agency.
Yeah, that's
not not just change the name to, do what the court ordered kind of thing.
I actually thought that was the name of the company till you went through. I was like, oh. Now, Bond006 says that would never happen here in the States, to actually withdraw from making money to healing. And this is not cancel culture. I want to say something like that has happened recently. I want to say. I just can't put my finger on it because I could have sworn I heard about something like this happening, Depending on how chaotic it gets, you will have to stop this to do that and then start all over. But let's talk about something that I enjoy. Coffee. I'm also going to talk about something that Mako-chan enjoys. Sake. It seems that a local Japanese coffee business has teamed up with a local sake brewer to make sake coffee drip packs. That reminds me, when I go to Japan, I'm going to see if I can buy like a bag of coffee and bring it back. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Go ahead and pull this track up. It's a caffeine boost and a microdose of Japanese culture all in one. You know, we found out that Japanese sake can be infused into things like Kit Kat and butter. Ooh, sake infused butter. I like that. But what about a beverage that many people consume daily? Yamatoya, a coffee manufacturer based in Japan's Gunma Prefecture, recently released a new product called sake coffee. And was released on October 1st, which happens to be National Coffee Day and National Sake Day in Japan. I like that kind of day.
Mhm.
This single-serve drip coffee contains coffee beans that were soaked in local Gunma-produced Japanese sake prior to roasting, imbibing the beans with its flavor and aroma. The aim of this coffee is to create a coffee that's truly unique to the Gunma Prefecture. Sake coffee is available in two types: Mizubasho, a collaboration with Nagai Sake Brewery, and Higen, a team effort with Asama Sake Brewery. The names are borrowed from each brewery's respective sake lineup, and each sake was chosen by the respective brewer's staff to pair specifically with coffee. Mizubasho is a fruity and light-tasting sake, and it's paired with Brazilian coffee beans, which tend to have a low acidity and full body. Higen has a light taste accents that the fruity tasting Guatemalan coffee beans. Each drip pack is priced at 324 yen, which is about $2.16 each, and can be purchased by links that we don't currently have right now. They're being sold in limited quantities, so if you're interested, you might want to act quickly on that. And Bonzo06 says, Ranma Union reading the news. Stick it in my veins. Man, there have been days where I find myself having 2 cups of coffee and 2 cans of Coke sometimes because work gets just a little hectic. Just a little. Which reminds me, I have to be in extra early and be on call for an event all day tomorrow. That's going to be double fun. And I'm only going in early so I can enjoy my coffee and my breakfast before the chaos and the fun begins. All right. Let's see. There was something else I was going to say about this. Oh, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Mako, you want to take this last one, or are we going to end it right here?
Yeah, I'll just cover it quick.
All right, go for it. Because I know this is something you want, and I know this is something that I want too.
Yeah, so you remember a couple months back we were talking about the joke product that Nissan made for the Cup Noodle, which is a cup noodle measuring cup. And it had been a joke product. But after months of waiting, they finally gave in and they created the actual measuring cup. So it measures the exact amount of water that you need to make a single cup serving of cup noodle, the next size up, and then the big size. However, unfortunately, even though it has been created and made and was put out for consumption of the masses, it's sold out already.
Yeah, I can't even find it on eBay.
Yeah, so it does have the normal milliliter and ounce measurings, or I should say milliliter, that you would have to convert to ounces so that you would be able to use it as a regular cup as well. It is currently being offered as a bundle with 9 packs of cup noodle. That is through the Nissan online store, Yodobashi Camera, and Amazon Japan. However, they sold out completely at the Nissan and Yodobashi Camera online shops as of September 26th. They were still being sold on Amazon Japan site, but I'm going to assume at this point that that is also sold out.
Yes and no. It's sold out through Amazon, but third-party sellers are selling it. You can get this bundle for $35. The downside is not shipping to the US. This is one of those times where you kind of be glad that you have friends in Japan that can order it for you and you just have to pay the shipping. You know?
Mm.
I don't know if I want to do that for this. I kind of feel like if I go to Japan, I happen to stumble across it, yes, I will pick it up, but...
Yeah, but it's not something that you need to special order. It's just a fun kind of quirky thing. Yeah, I getcha.
Yeah. I mean, if these were in mass quantities, most likely you could probably find them at a local Japanese supermarket or something like that, but, you know. Then again, what's funny is I actually went out and I bought a plastic measuring cup that I can use for my ramen, but I also bought it so I know exactly to drop 14 ounces of water in my coffee maker when I decide to brew a cup, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. What do we have here? Oh, we've made it down to the end. Okay. Oh, wait. I went a little bit too far. Let me bring it back one. There we go. It should come back down. There we go. So I think it's time that we wrap up the show. Would you agree?
Yeah.
All right. And where are you, ending theme? Ah, there you are. So if you like tonight's show, tell a friend. They in turn and so forth will tell another friend. That's how we do. We're independent bloggers. We're independent podcasters. We do this for the fun of it. So what we like and don't like, we're basically telling you right here. If you have any questions about the show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. And don't forget to check out our website at animejamsession.com, where you will find not just our weekly podcast, you'll find anime reviews, editorials, cosplay tips and tricks, cosplay reviews, anime reviews, links to our YouTube page of convention videos, which, by the way, if you're going to another anime con, you'll be seeing some videos on our YouTube page this week. And don't forget, we also have links to our Facebook page for cosplay coverage as well. All that and then some at animejamsession.com. Don't forget to follow our podcast wherever you go. We are available on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Well, you can't say Stitcher anymore because Stitcher has basically been shut down. TuneIn Radio, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you download your podcasts. Search Anime Jam Session and you'll find all of our episodes. And what's great is some of these apps have an option to leave a review. So if you can leave a review, we'd appreciate that. It's the little things that matter. And don't forget to follow us on our social media pages, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. It's all Anime Jam Session. Follow us on the YouTube for videos, Facebook for when we're going live, same thing with Twitter. And to all of you who follow us on our socials, thank you so much. We couldn't do the show without you. And don't forget, down below was our tip jar, links to our stream elements, our Streamlabs, and our Ko-Fi if you want to throw money our way. You can cheer us on in the chat room with bits. We appreciate that too. And subbing to the channel and giving out gift subs. Every little bit counts. So now we're going to go around the room. Last words, Mako-chan.
I am decorating for Halloween this weekend, and I'm all sorts of excited, except that it's supposed to rain all weekend.
Whoops.
Yeah.
My last words is I have to put my stuff away from dinner and clean stuff up. It's going to be an interesting night. Well, that is it. End of list. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Ari will be here. Hopefully Barry will be here. Will you be here? We're hoping you are. So, keeping tabs. That's it. We're getting out of here. So, I'm Ranma.
And I am Mako-chan.
Great fight great night. See you next week.
Good night.
Say goodnight, Mako-chan.
Good night, Mako-chan.
Perfect. Awesome. We're getting out of here. See you all next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!